Hello. In this short video I want to use Venn diagrams to visualize the relationship between supply teachers and permanent teachers. Using a Venn diagram, I want to show what aspects of the teaching role are different to the supply teacher role and what aspects of the role are in common. So using a Venn diagram like this, I have two circles, to represent each role, and then in the middle where they overlap, those are the things both share in common. Moving on then, I started to populate the PowerPoint with various aspects of the role. So I got you qualified to teach. If you're a teacher working as a supply or permanent teacher, is something that you got in common in the middle. Okay, and then there's a legal duty of care here. I put that in the middle. That's something in common with a supply teacher and permanent teacher. Okay, in terms of contract, a permanent teacher tends to have a longer term contract, permanent contract. Okay, whereas the supply teacher is usually temporary. Okay, the work assignment may be unknown. It could be here one day and gone the next. Teachers on permanent long-term contracts working in schools have access to teachers' pensions. Okay, now these are just some of the aspects of the role that I looked at, and I mapped them out here as best I can. But this is a simplification of the role of supply teacher. If we move on and look at a supply teacher in a longer term role, you can see how things change. So for example, we still have qualified to teach, the same. Okay, the permanent teacher has a fixed timetable. Okay, now this element here, having a flexible, changeable timetable for a supply teacher on long term, may not apply. Okay, in that case, the supply teacher may have a fixed timetable where they know for a long period of time where they are working, where they are teaching, what kids they're teaching. Okay, so a supply teacher on a longer term contract would have more in common then. Okay, so because they're both in common, put that in the middle like that, and we can build a picture up of a more variegated picture of the role of supply teacher. Okay, so looking at another type of supply teacher, a supply teacher working directly with the school and paid via the council. In that case, okay, the supply teacher and the school teacher would have access to the teacher's pension. Okay, the supply teacher paid directly via the council would have more in common with the permanent teacher. Okay, and also the supply teacher may choose to work in one school. I hope this process of Venn diagramming is useful for you in mapping out and understanding the fact that there are many different types of supply teacher roles, and that in some situations the role is very different to the permanent teacher, and in others there is more similarity. Now I want to move on to a different type of role in education, which is the use of a cover supervisor to take classes. Now, a cover supervisor and a permanent teacher will have a duty of care. Previously, we've looked at supply teachers and permanent teachers and seen that they're qualified to teach, but cover supervisors are not required to be qualified to teach. Okay, teach children. Cover supervisor, they're not qualified to teach. Do they teach children? So these are debatable, contestable areas. But when you map them out, you can see, okay, that in schools we have cover supervisors, and legally they are not required to be qualified to teach. And if they're not qualified to teach, asking them to teach children is okay. I'll put a question mark there. Okay, and I'll put a question mark there. Okay, I hope this exercise has been useful for you, and what I suggest you do is that you download the PowerPoint, perhaps create your own Venn diagram and share it so that others see your perspective, and what you notice may be different to what I've noticed in this video. Thank you very much.